Hello, everyone. This is Harman Smith, and this is the first day of the rest of my life. Going forward, I will be working 40 hours a week instead of like the endless overtime thing I was doing before. So hopefully, I will have more free time to keep caught up with like what's going on in the Rekieta sphere, stay caught up on like news in general, like exercise more, eat better. Hopefully, this is going to be a major change for me, and I'm really excited about that. But other people are not so fortunate. Those who don't work and don't want to work and refuse to work do everything they possibly can to have endless fun. Things are getting worse and worse for them. It is incredible seeing the decline of Nick Rekieta over the past year or so, like a couple of years or so. Like he went from like the being the unstoppable YouTube titan, right? One of the biggest channels on YouTube to like what he is now, a joke. Not only in the YouTube sphere, but locally, within his family, his church, his community, everyone is turning on Rekieta. And now, after today, I think we may actually see the beginning of the end of his current situationship. Because I don't want to call this a relationship, right? April's only there for the cocaine, she's only there for the money, and Kayla's only there because she's married to him, right? Both of them are going to leave at some point in the future because this is unbelievable. Let's see what Nick has to say.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law Explaining the Interwebs. I'm your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. How are we doing tonight?
I can't even understand. He's still doing the intro when, like, we know he's a non-practicing attorney. I believe the business isn't even, like, open, right? He still calls himself he still pretends he has a real law firm, right? Like, I can't even get over, like, the intro. Like, even the intro just kind of pisses me off at this point. Like, law-splaining? Like, again, I remember you trying to tell us that your show was never about the law. So, like, again, like, anyway.
Holy crap, it's late. I mean, not really. Based on history, it's not really late, you know? But it's kind of late. Feels late for me today. How's that? Oh boy. Well, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I wasn't gonna do a show today. In general. Like I was, and then I wasn't. I was waffling. You know, I was trying to decide. And then like something happened today. There was a court hearing. I don't know if you guys are aware.
Oh, yeah. So about the court thing, the thing that really gets me about this, Nick recently did a Coke stream with Dick Masterson where he's just, coping and seething about the courts, right? You know, he's attacking the judge, the prosecution, his own attorneys, right? He's trying to make it seem like everyone's out to get him. But because he's Nick Rekieta, because he's so rich and so successful that he was able to navigate like this massive government conspiracy to ruin him, to pull out an epic W. And we've realized since then that wasn't actually true, right? That like nothing that happened in that hearing was like a W for him at all. He was just kind of coping and seething. And now, like, it seems like he's about to do it again. This is going to be absolutely another cope and seething situation, I think. This time, not featuring Dick Masterson.
But the mic sounds tinny and motherfucker.
It does sound bad, yeah. I was about to say the mic.
I got it. This should be better. Sorry about that. I hope that fixed it.
Okay, whatever.
Is that a better
Who's still watching this guy in 2024? Oh, I gotta love how Oh, he switched out the mug with a clear container, so you can clearly see it's not alcohol. Oof. Wow.
That's got to be better, Mike, right?
Wow.
Okay, good. Yeah, it had the wrong mic selected. I don't know why. I don't even know what my... Funny story. I don't know what that microphone is. I don't have a microphone.
It's probably built into the computer.
That
happens to me too. Yeah.
So I don't know what that is. I don't know.
And the microphones they have built into the computers are garbage. They are awful.
I'm here. God. Some of my stuff got messed up. I wonder why. So anyway, hey guys, I'm sorry. I got a weird energy today. I'm tired and exhausted and like emotionally spent. But a big happening happened today, and it's something I can actually kind of talk about because it's not my case.
Oh no!
It's not mine, even though it's like really close to mine.
No. So, is he gonna throw April under the bus? Is he really gonna talk? So he's gonna use his platform to talk about April and what's going on with her, like with no regards to her privacy or what she wants out there, like or what's best for her. Like I saw on Kiwi Farms. I'm not sure if this is true. What I've been told is that April, I'm getting my Rekieta bitches mixed up. April did a Zoom video call for the trial in Nick Rekieta's bedroom. Like, she legit did it from his room. Like, what? And, like, they're still putting up this farce where they're trying to pretend that, like, she and Nick are not sleeping together. Like, they're still doing this weird thing. I don't know why. Like, it's the weirdest thing about this. Like, they're so brazen and open about this, but then, like, when push comes to shove, they always, like, deny it. Like, I don't understand it. Like, they're so open about, like, so many other aspects, but then, like, they kind of, like, don't openly talk about the throuple stuff. So, anyway, it's weird.
You know, I figured I'd come online and talk about it. Some of you have probably seen the main source of what I'm going to talk about, which is April Imholtz. April Imholtz's first appearance, which had a little bit of a doozy attached to it. It had a
Hasn't the divorce been finalized? Shouldn't she have her maiden name back? Oh, whatever. I don't know how this works.
Motion to dismiss. We don't normally have those on first appearances. They sometimes have a place. They don't always have a place. And you've probably seen people like analyze the motion, or you've seen people watch the hearing. We're going to do maybe both of those. Even though we know the outcome of the motion hearing, let me just say from the get-go, the case was not dismissed at the first appearance. I don't know if...
It's like he's expecting it to get dismissed. He really thinks this is going to get dismissed. Like, what an idiot. Like, does anyone take what this guy says seriously? Like, he really speaks with the utmost confidence. Like, oh, it hasn't been dismissed yet. Like, come on.
Things where you don't plan to have that happen because you're probably not going to win, but you can hope. Also, some things can come out of it that are semi-useful. And I want to talk about those things today. I don't know what anybody else has said about this thing, other than there's a lot of chatter about where April seemed to be when she Zoom call. The background was really
oh no, this is why he went live to damage control this. Unbelievable. So yeah, April apparently did her video call from Nick's bedroom. I've talked about this before. But like the implications of that are very, 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 very unfortunate considering the circumstances of the case. So for some reason, Nick is very, very unwilling to admit that she was in there. So he's going to do damage control and he's going to downplay. Okay.
Really blurry, so I don't know where that was.
I,
Obviously,
lie,
I
lie,
hope the
lie.
court doesn't find out. That would be so bad.
Wait, what? Wait, hang on.
Find where that was. Obviously, I hope the court doesn't find out.
I,
That Zoom call where April seemed to be when she was on her Zoom call. The background was really blurry, so I don't know where that was. Obviously, I
Liar.
hope the court doesn't find out.
Oh no! He's telling on himself. He's legit telling on himself. Like he does. He hopes the court doesn't realize where it was. Wow, that's crazy. That is like unbelievable. Like he's really. Wow.
It would be so bad. It'd just be terrible. It's, oh my god. Hopefully they never find out where that was, because that would somehow affect something. Somewhere.
What? Why is he coping and seething about that? Man, he's so upset by this. He's so upset by the fact that Kiwi Farms figured this out. Wow. Wow, what? Unbelievable.
But yeah, so here's what I figure. I figure, hey.
Yeah, if it's so ridiculous, why don't you say where she where like they think she was, Nick? Like, why don't you come out and talk about it? Because you know how bad it looks. You know that it completely goes against what you've told the cops and what you've told people so far. Like, oh, she's just a babysitter, guys. Even though the kids aren't here right now, she still comes over every day and hangs out in our bedroom. like, come on, Nick. You know how this looks.
This thing, we can read this paper, we can talk about what happened, and I can give you guys maybe some insight that no one else can. I'm not sure.
Is he trying to do the Aaron Imholt grift? Because this is the same thing that Aaron's doing. Where, like, every single time he goes live, he has to talk about Rekieta because, like, nobody really cares about anything else he does or talks about. So, like, yeah, he comes on and talks about Rekieta. And, like, same energy. Unbelievable. Like, oh, I have insider knowledge. So you have to watch my show to hear what happened with April, even though you're like blatantly lying about everything and everyone knows you're lying. It's just
if you want that or not, but that's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get.
Oh hell yeah, yeah! I wish I was able to play Donisar. I had no idea the Dominus collection was came out yesterday. I unfortunately went. I unfortunately did not have time to play it, but I'll get it tonight for sure. I gotta play Emio.
And yeah. Hopefully you'll enjoy it, right? Like, this is an entertainment show. I didn't say it was entertaining. Don't you dare fucking hold me to that. I have a McDonald's Coca-Cola here, and I'm gonna run out of it soon.
Oh no.
But hopefully you get some entertainment out of it, maybe learn something. And maybe I can give you a little insight into some of the stuff, because there was some interesting bits that happened on that hearing. I was kind of surprised because it's like 10 minutes. It's not a lot to do, not a lot of time. And it's amazing that the state can be the state in such a short fucking time. But hey, you know, that's what they do. Shut up about court cases, Nick? Well, no, I don't want to. What would you like me to talk about? What makes you happy?
Oh no. No, Nick, no.
Nick asked
Cringe.
before going live, and he said, "Sure, bro, yap it up." He probably would, but I didn't ask him. Do you guys walk around asking for permission to do stuff in your lives? I don't know, man. I see so many people out there these days. Sorry, I'm just cleaning out my ear monitors before I put them in. I see so many people out there these days begging for rules over them, begging for a system to come in and protect them from something. I don't even know if they know what they're being protected from.
Yeah, how dare people have laws? How dare people have rules and regulations and expectations for their safety? You know, how dare people not do everything they want? You know, like, come on, Nick. It's this ideology that inspired American Evil, bro. Like, you inspired an entire novel based on your insane ideas on how the world should work. So come on, Nick, you idiot.
Like, look, we obviously want a government to come in and keep you from getting mugged or murdered or robbed, or they don't actually do that typically. They're not really good at the preventing of those things. They have one preventative function that's relatively useful, and that is the threat of punishment. But the threat of punishment is not an active means of protection for people. It's passive, right? It's the idea that someone won't do something that they otherwise would because the consequences will end up being bad. The risk is too high. But then there is an active protection that can take place, right? A police officer can be somewhere and stop someone from doing something. And if you have that, you know, that can be useful, but it's really fucking rare that comes across for most people. I mean, most people are not going to be in a situation where there's an active intervention by a police officer. Rekieta Law has no idea where April was zooming from, and no respect for his audience. She was right here in my office, you weirdo. What do people think it's like a mystery or like a secret? Kind of.
Was it the office or the bedroom?
I understand the internet. I think you guys can find it if you look. People have gone so autistic that they don't even remember that, like, I don't think they even remember what they're. I don't even know how to describe this. It's not mad at. It's not marveling over. It's not watching. They just forget what they're even in, so that everything becomes interesting, even when stuff isn't. It's so weird. It's marvelous to watch. And I have another thing that I was going to talk about today, and the Kiwis will be very happy to know that I had to read up on my thread a little bit, and I found something that was great, because it's Kiwi farms acting just like government, and I get to
Kiwi farms is the government
in this case, and why it's so why it's such a weird problem that comes up, and the one thing that's consistent in this life is if you point out something to someone, they get really angry about it. That goes for me too, right? Like I'm not even being critical here, but I tried to point this out to a former friend a while back. This symptom that the Kiwis have.
Former friend? Who's he talking about? Is that a straight up like Drexel call out? Like, who is he talking about? Like Drexel, Sean, who? Like. We're gonna we'll have to see if we can piece this together. This is interesting.
Even being critical here, but I tried to point this out to a former friend a while back. This symptom that the Kiwis have, and the farms has this problem. They don't realize that they do this all the time, but when they find themselves doing it, they then like explain it away after some mild argument, and then it just kind of disappears. But it's this phenomena of like insular telephone, and it's where something happens, and then like a fact is created or completely wrong, and then just gets adopted as the truth, and people run with it as.
If a fact is a fact, that means it's true. That's what a fact is. Like, is he saying like the fact? If a fact isn't true, it's not a fact. You know, a fact is what we know is true, you idiot. Like, and you're a lawyer. Unbelievable. But anyway.
Created or completely wrong. And then just gets adopted as the truth, and people run with it as the truth, as if it were. And it becomes the truth. Kiwi Farms acts like they're very thorough and investigative and all this stuff, which is fine. Sometimes they are.
They are, yeah.
Sometimes they're not. But what they always are is adding or omitting critical details that change or create out of nothing stories that become kind of official canon of
These aren't like professionals. You're not going to expect people like to go in line with everything. There's going to be disagreements, right? People have like different perspectives on things. Like it wasn't until this year that people started like turning on Kayla, right? People thought she was like an innocent victim in all this because they couldn't like wrap their minds around the fact that like what an enabler she is, right? So again, like I don't necessarily disagree with him that like Kiwi Farms gets things wrong, but that's just the nature of the beast, right? Like again, we don't have a full 100% like comprehensive uh, um like understanding of the situation, but we have a general idea. And the general idea is what Nick is disputing, right? Like again, no, the cocaine was not found at my house. No, I'm not swinging. No, I'm monogamous with my wife. Like no, April's not sucking my cock during streams. Like it's like, come on. Like anyway,
internet retards. And the government does this too. And that's what was really interesting to me today was seeing the government do this. Do the exact same thing that Kiwi Farms did. And the only reason I can bring it up is because if you tell like anybody on the forum that they do this, they'll deny it like crazy. They're like, this never happens. And then there's like the one guy's like, guys, it kind of happens, you know, all the time. But like we try and fix it. But if you try and tell them, they'll spur out about it until you can show them. Then when you show them, they're like, oh, well, this happened. Well, I mean, it's only this time. Okay, sure. But they take this thing and they create a fact that becomes a reality. And that reality then just persists on. That's happened in this case in a way that I can demonstrate through the hearing today. So it's something that I can bring to you guys.
I can't wait to hear this.
Will be able to. But maybe they can. I don't know. I'm not.
Other than the courts, like, isn't this information available online? Can't we get a good look at what happened? Like again, like I imagine, like every time Nick copes and sees about what's going on in this trial, the next time we get an update, like things look even worse for him. Like every single time. So I think this is going to be a repeat of what happens there.
I'm not watching their coverage. Let's get a rumor started on the farms that Nick has space AIDS. No, not space. I don't have space AIDS. Deep sea AIDS, maybe? I don't know. We got a couple super chats to start. Then we'll get in. This is probably not going to be the longest show tonight. The main topic is the April hearing.
Oh yeah, you come by for that.
A little bit of Supreme Court stuff, but that's kind of just in case we get to it. I think most of it's going to be here. I said I wasn't really planning on doing a show tonight, and then it was like, oh shit, I'm not going to go like 3 hours. That's so. I mean, I guess it's always possible that I could, but I'm thinking it's going to be a much shorter show, and yeah, we're just going to go through this April stuff, and you'll see. But guys, don't tell the government she was in my house. They'll go back in time and arrest her. That's been one of the funniest things to watch today. Is everybody's like, "Oh, Nick's busted now." It's like, God. Busted with what? Oh my God. It's very funny. I don't know. Maybe it's not funny. Everybody kept saying it was funny, so I have to adopt that, I guess. But nice podcast, stupid. That's a good name.
So isn't it like a thing that like they denied that April was living with them, and yet she's always over there, and like this is clearly demonstrable, right? Like it's like again, there's a reason people thought this was a big like smoking gun. Right? The fact that the court now has evidence that she's over there all the time, like it's kind of a big deal.
You wear Baldo. Sometimes Baldo wears you. I don't know if it does. Yeah. The act of wearing is to put something over, right? So you would put on a ball. I don't think. Okay, I guess you could wear. Yeah, Baldo could wear you. Like. Okay, never mind. Let's not go there. That gets deep.
Travis Hill says your studio looks less fuzzy than earlier. Yeah, I had to adjust the focus on the camera. SVH says I always make the mistake of reading the chat. Do you think there are gay bots in your feed repeating the same zingers? I don't know. Look, it's 2024. I don't care if the bots are gay or not. Like, we used to like really be looking out for that, and nowadays it's fine. They can be straight. They can be gay. I don't know. I hope so. Guys, like if YouTube like is gonna send bots to inflate their advertising numbers or something, like okay, I guess. I don't really make hardly any money off of like the ads, so it doesn't really matter to me. But
Yep.
I'll take them anyway. Koof says thank you for not killing yourselves. The night is young. Just kidding. Just kidding. That was a joke. The night's not that young. Mitch Marco says, hey, Nick, do you know of any or will there be a clips or review channel comparing the LawTube analysis of your cases versus what really happens? Well, sounds like you just made it up there, buddy. Can really expose these grifters. Seems like prime real estate. The last thing I'm going to do on Earth is watch a bunch of people's coverage of this fucking fiasco. It's maddening to watch. Like, you have to understand a mild perspective difference, okay? Between me and anybody else watching is that I'm here on the inside, right?
Wait. He's supposed to be talking about April's case, but he's doing this thing where he's like, oh, but I'm intricately involved in this. Like, but you're also saying that you're talking about April's case because it doesn't have anything to do with you? That's like a contradiction, bro. Like, it's just...
All Aaron Lewis on the outside looking in, but I can see through you. No, I know the story from this side of it. And so when I watch like cockeyed Limpy over there trying to muddle his way through a fucking document, I just want to pull my teeth out because not only is he retarded, but he's really, but they have basic parts of the story wrong, and some of that isn't their fault, right? I'm not blaming everybody on not having it. You guys didn't live it.
You weren't there. The straight up Todd Rogers defense. You were there. Like, again, we're reading the documents, bro. We're seeing footage, bro. Like, what exactly do you want people to do? Do you want people to, like, come over to your house and snort cocaine and then talk about the case? Oh, wait, that's what Aaron Imholt did. So, what exactly are we supposed to do if we're going to talk about the case? Like,
I did. And so that's why I'm able to point out some of the shit today. I got a lot of grief for saying that Alicia Sweep, the county investigator, lied under oath at in one of my hearings, the first or the second hearing in my family case. People are like, how dare you? I can't believe he said. Well, she lied under oath. I mean, there's not really much to it other than that, but she did, and it's one of just a ton of these little lies. I talked about this the other day. A conspiracy isn't like some massive organized thing to go after people.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, they have those types of conspiracies, right? But nothing needs to be that complex. It's literally just little places where people do their job poorly. And one of those happened today in the hearing, and I'll point it out straight out to you. And it was actually it was an important one, and it involves a government agent lying to the court, just straight out lie. And it's kind of amazing that they would do that, but they just do. They just go ahead and lie, and people think like, oh man, it's like when they say that the government lies is like this big thing, or it's organized, or there's some I don't know, something to it. But no, they're little bits and places where they leverage the system as it functions, and these little lies or untruths or whatever kind of just impact your life in dramatic ways, and there's not fucking much you can do about it. And I think if you get if you get a cop or something that you know and you trust, and you get them a little lubricated, you could probably get them to talk about this and how this happens, because cops are kind of king of doing this. It's these little lies and misrepresentations, just a tiny bit moves the needle enough to do something else. And if they're not doing it, someone they know is, an administrator is. If you work in corporate America, if you work in a government, anywhere that there is someone who has power, and that power depends on a set of variables, and they have any ability to nudge those variables, they invariably get nudged. They get nudged towards the end of the person who's nudging, right? Like, that's kind of human nature. The problem really is when it involves the impact on someone else. This is where all, we call it sin.
What are they lying about? How is them lying going to like shade about little things going to like acquit you of all your crimes? Like, how is this going to be? What does this mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's just one big giant waffle that you're hoping people won't sift through and figure out that, oh, wait a minute, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Where all sin culminates. I mean, if you lie about something that doesn't fucking matter, it doesn't fucking matter. But if you lie about something and someone loses $1,000, then it matters $1,000. And that's, to someone that's a lot, to other people it's not a big deal. It's all relative to who you are, your circumstances. But these little nudges, when it comes from government, and when it involves liberty, and when it involves your rights, that's when it matters a lot. Because I tell you what, those little nudges end up with you in jail and being fucking just excoriated by a public who has no actual clue what happened.
No clue? What do you mean, no clue? Like, we have a pretty good idea. Like, again, this is so frustrating to watch. He's really going to say that there's this little tiny government conspiracy, like little bitty lies that are somehow have somehow enveloped the entire legal system, that nobody's able to figure out what really happened other than him. Like, only he knows what really happened because he was there.
So I gotta stop waxing poetic through this stuff so we can get into the actual show, but we will. But yeah, will there be a clips or a review channel like comparing and compiling all of it? I mean, people have made shittier businesses, so probably somewhere.
Get on it, Alyssa. You can do it.
For it. See, this is the other tough thing is you can have a really cool idea with a really captive audience. There's a lot of people who are interested in my case, for example. Well, once my case is over, you then have to figure out what to do next. And you can't just rely on me to run around committing felonies, okay? Some of you may disagree with that, but you can't, because that doesn't sound good to me. And so you'd have to find some other source to
notice how he didn't deny committing felonies.
Engaged, interested, and you're not going to have another case like this pop up, most likely. Even ignore me, like even if I'm dead or whatever, it's going to be hard to find another comparable situation for a while. Given time, it will happen, but when it happens is, anybody's kind of guess. But yeah, I mean, if someone wants to make that channel, I'm sure someone will, and I'm sure they'll get something out of it, and it'll be great. Nicola Maxwell says, Nick, you look well. Hey, thanks. Please help Broken Baker get to 12K trial fund. Broken Baker, great channel and humor. Guys, check out The Broken Baker on YouTube. See if you like their channel. Subscribe to it, maybe. I don't know. Carazola X. Sandra Birchmore case is absolutely wild. Have you seen anything about it today? No. No. Guys, pure confession. So when I do stream, you've noticed maybe you haven't noticed. Probably not. I've not been streaming a lot. When I do stream, it's anomaly that I'm actually like looking into the stuff I'm going to be talking about on the show. Most of my day, I'm not like perusing the news or anything. it's difficult for me because all I want to do is talk about my case. Like that's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm reading, documents and documents and documents. All of this is what my brain is doing all day because it kind of is important for me. So it's hard for me to think about other cases or to think about other subjects. So I'm not following along other stuff. I have no idea.
Yeah, because he's such a narcissist. He can't process that, like, things are just... Like, again, it's like with the monograph case all over again. Like, he seems to have this weird obsession with, like, monetizing his own legal troubles. When, like, the best thing to do, and, like, Kiwi Farms has noticed this, too. I've been talking about this since before this even started. Like, the best thing to do in this situation is not to talk about your legal problems. Because that's why so many people have so much effective ammunition against him, right? It's why he's incriminating himself so much, is that he is talking about his case all the time. He is making all these weird statements that are immediately debunked, right? He is getting, like, called out for his behavior, right? Like, again, he can't hide what he's done. And it's because he keeps streaming like this.
I do.
Oops.
Who Sandra Birchmore even is. Involves the same officers as Karen Reed. Oh, they sound... Those guys were gems. I'm sure that's good. Don't worry, they're all good. Justin DGBZ says, what are your thoughts on posadism? Posadism? Oh, this sounds horrible. I'm going to regret this, aren't I? Advocate for a society akin to those proposed by general Marxist theory. Oh, so they're Marxists? No. That's my thoughts on posadism. No. No, thank you.
No.
Holios says, stop being a fagel. Okay. Happy Hippie. Whoa, with a huge super chat. Thank you so much. Says, usually catch you on the replay crew, but happened to be up late tonight sending many prayers. Man, thanks for all you do. Stay gay, my friend. I will. Hugo Itano says, glad your kids are back. Thanks. It's been really good. I don't know if you guys remember, that was August 7th. August 7th, I think. Yes. Yeah, it was going to be the 11th. It was going to be the 11th. It ended up being the 7th. That was a nice surprise. So that was... See, this is one of those things where... I can't really watch other people's coverage because I'm watching from the inside, right? I knew that my kids would be coming home on August 11th, back in July. It ended up being August 7th because it just worked out to be a couple days earlier, which is great. But I knew that back in July. And all throughout July, all of these outside analysts are telling people that, like, I'm not going to get my kids back for a really long time. There's all these allegations.
No, like, even a couple of days is like a month. A month. You didn't, like, when were they taken? Like April, like May, something like that. Like, it was a couple of months. Like, that is a long time for a kid. A long time.
It's going on about abuse and neglect, none of which actually manifests anywhere ever. But they're sitting there saying,
they were
abused.
abused. They were neglected.
I know exactly when my kids are coming. I know exactly. I know the date they're coming. And then people are telling me, like, they're posting these transcripts that were from a month prior, and they're like, "Oh, look at this is working out." They're like thinking it's going to be a bad result, and it's like, no, that already happened. We're well past that. So it's hard for me to watch it because I can't.
I mean, let's be real. The kids are going to be taken away again. Like, again, nothing's changed. Nothing's getting better. CPS is involved now, right? Like, there isn't going to be some major improvement. Like, things are going to get worse. So, like, they are going to get convicted. And the kids are going to be put into better homes. I don't they're stray puppies or something. It's unfortunate, but it is true. Like, again, he's so smug about it. Like, oh, I got my kids back. Yeah, but they were taken to begin with. Like, come on. That is not a W. Not a W.
I can't talk about my case. Obviously, I talk about my case with relative frequency. But there are details and aspects of the case that I can't talk about. It's pretty wild, and it's a pretty amazing story. But hey, what's up, Nightwave Radio? How's it going, Mersh? Been a while, man.
He keeps teasing this like epic, never before told story, but like, come on. What could he possibly do to absolve himself of any wrongdoing? Right? Like, oh, Aaron did everything, and then I saved April by giving her the D, and then like Aaron's cocaine was lying around the house, and like, no, I don't think so.
He rated the stream over on Rumble. Welcome to the Nightwave Radio viewers. Where the hell was I? Mersh, you just distracted me. It doesn't matter where I was. I see the thing is, I'm watching from the inside. I know these details. I can talk about various parts of the case that are like set in stone, but I don't get into talking about legal theory and like evidence and all that shit. That's what I want to talk about, but that's the stuff I really have to stay away from because we've got a fight going on here. But it makes it difficult because that's what I want to do is talk about that stuff, and I can't. And then I see people, and if I listen to what they're saying, I'm like, well, this is just wrong. You don't even have any idea. And they're chuckling the whole time too, which is fun. I'm glad they're having fun, but they just have basic stuff wrong, and they just don't have access to the info. Citizen M says, I've been interviewing local and
We do have access to info, though, right? You restricted a lot of the documents, right? Because you're a public figure. Like, we would have more if you didn't do that. Again, like, who are you trying to fool? Like, you don't know the whole story. Yeah, I think we know better than you do. Like, it honestly comes off like he's trying to believe his own nonsense. Like he genuinely thinks this is going to work out for him somehow. And it's just not. Like,
AM doing a video essay on the life of your wife, Kayla. Any chance you'd be willing to speak to me? I'm a nobody ST mod. No, there's no chance I'd be willing to speak to you. You could pick a fun bracketed euphemism that involves something terrible you could do to yourself.
So wait. He wants to.
No. Why? Citizen M says, I've been interviewing local and AM doing a video essay on the life of your wife, Kayla. Any chance you'd be willing to speak to me? I'm a nobody ST mod. No, there's no chance I'd be willing to speak to you.
Why? Like, why doesn't he want Kayla to come forward? Why does he look so salty? Like, what is an ST mod? Like, so he's like refusing to be like, huh? So if it's like Kayla, why is he speaking for her? Like, shouldn't she make that decision herself? If it's about her life? Like, I don't know.
You could pick a fun bracketed euphemism that involves something terrible you could do to yourself. Jack Johnson says, why have you failed to abide by a judge's order and pay Monograph $300? I haven't failed to abide by it. You just haven't done it yet. You were ordered to do so over a month ago. Well, don't order me to do stuff. I don't like to. Lord of the Kino says, what was it like being the corner demon for April? It was good. It was good. I had one of those towels and like a bucket, kind of like doing that thing in case it got too warm. Speaking of, it's fucking hot.
What? What does that even mean? Like, I don't know what that means. What the fuck?
Guys, the secret's out of the bag. Someone used my office for a Zoom call today. Broken Baker says, good thing about people being on the grift, they show the true color for the quick money. In the Birchmore case, is a cop grooming and graping a 15-year-old. Oh my God. Ew.
That's what we call it rape now. That's amazing.
That's fucking horrible. All right, there's a couple of Rumble rants, and then we'll get into this thing. What should we do? I guess we should read the motion first, and then we'll watch the stream. I think that's the best way to do it. Nightwave Radio says, DM me on Twitter at the Bad Luck Boys. We talked about getting back in touch before the unpleasantness. We did. I blame you, actually, for that. Yeah, man, I'll hit you up for sure. Okay, let me get this case pulled up. Access case records. Dun, 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 dun. Oh man, I tell you guys, this whole process, being charged with felonies, I don't recommend it. It's not. There are other more productive uses of your time. Why the fuck is this?
Like actually practicing law?
Oh my god. Of course. Hold on. I think I have to. You know, like when a system goes down, like right when you need it, not system of a down. I was gonna pull up this document so we could actually fucking look at it. Here we go. It's probable cause statement for April. But
wait, what was that?
Probable cause statement for April. Look at it. Here we go. It's probable cause statement for April. But wait. Don't want to put it there. That's what he said. Hold on, I just have to yes. Save. Good Lord. I have to get it from a different source. I had to move it from my phone. You know what's great about drug testing, guys? Is that you really get to be friends with the person who's looking at your penis all the time. Like you're in there. You're just in there. And you're like, oh, how are you today, Nick? And I'm like, I'm fucking terrible. How are you? I'm like, oh, you know, pretty good. The weather's nice. I'm like, yeah. Like, want to get back out on the lake one more time this year. I'm like, that's cool. Unzip, pull my dick out, and then start peeing into a cup in front of this person who's staring at me. I'm like, I don't. This arrangement doesn't bother me as much as it should, but it should. Really should bother me. Something's uncomfortable and comfortable about it at the same time. Sorry, I've got to get this. Are you essentially saying that you should only commit misdemeanors? Yes. Very well.
So why does he have to be watched? Like when I've taken drug tests, like they left me alone. I've never been convicted of a felony, but I have taken them before. Are they worried he's gonna fake it somehow? Like, is that why he has to be watched? Like, I don't know how this works. I don't know anything about drug testing, so.
Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, I've got the document pulled up here. Again, sorry about this sort of disorganized thing. That's what you're getting tonight. I'm not gonna. Actually, I'm unapologizing for that. I'm unapologizing for the disorganized aspect of today, because it's too silly. Okay, so here we go. Lucky there's supplements to flush that coke out of your system within 5 hours. Homie, if you are trusting a supplement to keep you clean from whatever the government says you can't do, I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea. You must never have been tested before. And have it fucking matter. Because when there's anything important on the line, if you're trusting some supplement to flush your system out, those things can't even make you fat asses skinny. Okay, here we go. Count one. So here's the complaint against April Imholt.
Okay.
Yes, it is April Imholt. No, this is not the correct address, actually. This is weird. I'm not sure why this address is here, but April has a different P.O. box. I think there was someone out there who maybe lied and said that something was sent to a PO box that belonged to me when it actually wasn't. It was sent to a PO box that belonged to April.
Oh no! Oh no! Okay, so April was living at the other house. So was it sent to like the other house and like they're just coping about? I don't know.
But someone out there suggested that it was mine, and then that lie permeated into some fact, I guess. But that was never true. The person who said it knew they were lying too, which is interesting.
Talking about Aaron? Is he talking about Aaron? I find it really interesting. Like, he has to be talking about Aaron, right? I can't think of who else it would be, but I mean, April has moved recently, right? So like she left Aaron, left him and the family to go be with Nick in the second house. So like, I don't know. Would she have set up her own PO box in that aforementioned time? I don't think so, because she wouldn't have needed one. Like it's just.
But that's the way these things go. So this one though, this is my PO box. I'm not sure why it's on here.
Because she was living there.
Just as a hypothetical, there's a couple of things about this complaint that should stand out right on their face, right? April is not April M. Holt anymore, and the address is wrong. So there's a question about if she's properly served in this case. And
she got divorced because of what she did. Like, again, it's just... Come on. So, she wasn't formally charged when Aaron issued the divorce papers. So, like, again, it's just a matter of just getting all the legal information changed, right? That was her name. She has been served. Like, her changing her last name doesn't stop her from being served. It's
Before you jump down my throat, okay? Which sounds like a fun time. Before you jump down my throat.
How retarded do you have to be? Do you think getting divorced and having a different name somehow makes a woman like, oh, like, this woman doesn't exist anymore. She's a new person. She's single. Like, no, that's not how this works.
Bro.
Yeah, that is retarded. We gotta clip that. That has to be like the most retarded thing I've heard so far. Like, claiming that April's last name changing somehow invalidates this document. That's like the level of legal analysis that we're doing here. Is that I, a fat man sitting in my house, can debunk it like without any legal training whatsoever. Like, I can do that, right? Like, after a 12-hour shift, after being miserable all week, I can come home, watch this, and then just be like, no, that's not true. Like, unbelievable.
Hold up. If she was improperly served, or if she wanted to quibble and bicker about the name, the ultimate outcome is going to be nothing. Like, it's not going to be profitable. Like, if you get the summons and they sent it to the wrong address. Well,
okay, but how did she get it then? Like, again, they sent it to... He already confirmed and sent it to your PO box, and she's there all the time, so she would have gotten it anyway. Like, does it matter that they sent it to, like, the wrong PO box? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like,
you could argue that you were improperly served, but what they do is they just issue a bench warrant and arrest you, drag your ass in, and then you go in and your defense is that you were improperly served. So, like, some of these things, if you get notice of it, you can be a pain in the ass and try and fight it. Like, she could probably be a pain in the ass and try and fight about her name, but, like, what good is it going to do? They're not going to be like, oh, you know what? You're right. That's the wrong name. Here you go. You win forever. That's not how it works. The law has, people talk about technicalities, getting off on technicalities. You're never getting off on a technicality. You're getting off on a rule. There's a difference. Getting off on a technicality would be they sent it to the wrong PO box. You're no longer, like, you're not going to go through the process of being charged because of that minor mix up. It's like, well, no, they just send a new one to the right PO box. So the court is very correcting of technicalities. It's one of the reasons I hate that expression. I think a lot of defense lawyers do, because it trivializes what's happening. If someone's winning on a technicality, they're winning because the government broke.
So is he explaining why his own argument is retarded? That's kind of amazing.
The rules that the government has to keep you safe from the government. Those rules are often called rights or liberties, but sometimes they're just regulatory rules that the government must follow as well. They're not always boiling down to a right. But it's not a technicality. It's a really fucking important thing that exists. And if you minimize it to a technicality, then you're a bootlicking statist pile of trash. And you should be thrown into a furnace or something. I think they tried that in a different country. But you don't, please just start reframing your mind on the technicality thing for all of our sakes, because the amount of tyranning that's going on in the world right now is trying to eliminate technicalities, and those technicalities are your rights. That's the thing that is supposed to prevent crazy shit from happening to you. But here we go. Charge of 5th degree possession, schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, not a small amount of marijuana, felony amount. Not a small amount of marijuana is this is kind of a holdover of how the law was written, because Minnesota had decriminalized marijuana. So if you had a small amount for personal use prior to last year, I think it was, then it was a small amount was a non-criminal act. It was still a crime, but we don't have to get into it. But if you've got more than a small amount of marijuana, you had a felony. Now that part is really it's really not a small amount. They upped the amounts quite a bit. But we don't need to get into that, because she is accused of possessing more than 0.25 grams of cocaine, which is what brings us into the felony level. If it's less than 0.25 grams of cocaine, it would be a misdemeanor, or gross misdemeanor, I think. Who cares? So here's the probable cause statement. And I'm reading the probable cause statement. I was going to go through the fucking motion. Let's do them both. What else are we doing? Grifty says, there's gold to be mined in reviewing the bad takes, no filter and no regrets. If when you beat this, I can only hope. Glad y'all are well. Thank you. Jake CB says, here's $5 for the lulls. Glad you're back on the air. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Glad to be back. We'll go through both the statement of probable cause and the motion, because I think it'll be helpful to have them both. Those Almond says, does April being charged lessen the burden of some quantity in yours and Kayla's cases? Below felony threshold, perhaps? Well, see, this is where it gets kind of tough to talk about things. We'll have to see. Minnesota has a couple different theories of possession, and one of those theories is joint possession. It's where multiple people can own all of something at the same time. And all of those people can be individually guilty or not guilty of owning a thing, any portion or all of it. And one person can be guilty of owning 100% of it, and so can another. That's how joint ownership ends up working. It's kind of weird in concept. But part of the problem here is, and this is what's brought up in the motion, is there's no particularity to the actual probable cause statement. So from this probable cause statement, we have to try and figure out what actually April is accused of possessing. So let's see if we can do it. The complainant states that the following facts establish probable cause. Your complainant is a licensed peace officer, is employed by the Candiota County Sheriff's Office. In this capacity, your complainant believes the following is true and correct. Who wrote this? Is this Brannis? Who wrote this? Oh, no, it's Kent Bauman. This is the chief deputy. This guy was at my house. He was walking around being chunky. Look, when you're the chief deputy, you don't have to be as in good a shape as the other ones. Oh, that shape is almost universally round, to be clear. Did you guys ever see SWAT? Remember how LL Cool J looked when he was all jacked out of his mind? He's got like a 9-pack of abs. None of these guys look like this. All of these guys look like day old jelly donuts. Okay, so on May 23rd, 2024, at approximately 9:13 a.m., the search warrant was executed at. Oh no, there's my house. on me, me and Kayla reside at the residence.
So he
as
just
long
doxed
as
himself like an idiot. Like, unbelievable. Really?
enforcement approached the residence. Nicholas was traveling southbound on 51st in a vehicle. I was traveling southbound on 51st in a vehicle. Interestingly, I was not home.
Oof. So Kayla's 40 years old this year. Oof.
Nicholas Rekieta was stopped
Unbelievable.
by law enforcement. That is not quite true, actually. I'll tell you.
Wait,
the
what?
real
You were
story,
stopped?
guys. I saw a fuckload of cars going by that all said sheriff on them, and I thought my house was being swatted. So I pulled over and stopped. On
Wait.
my own. I was not.
Wait. You said you were going to talk about your case. And here you are talking about your arrest. Like an idiot. Okay, we gotta replay this. So I think this is really important. Let's see.
Nicholas Rekieta was stopped by law enforcement. That is not quite true, actually. I'll tell you the real story, guys.
Oh, no. He's going to tell us the real story?
Fuckload of cars going by that all said sheriff on them, and I thought my house was being swatted. So I pulled over and stopped. On my own. I was not stopped by law enforcement. When I stopped.
You stopped on your own. Like, really? But we know someone came over and arrested you. Like, that's how it happened, right? Like, he's really going to try and bullshit us about, huh?
I saw a law enforcement car turn around and come back to me. So I waited for them there. They act like they stopped me. These lazy asses didn't do shit. Upon knocking on the door, a juvenile female act like they stopped me. These lazy asses didn't do shit.
So he's going to try and claim that they didn't stop him? Like, what? Like, he's really going to try and say... Come on. That has to be proven incorrect. That has to be wrong. Like, we need, like, someone to do a deep dive into, like, the official report, because I am 100% sure that is not true. Like, that... I want to press X and down on that one.
Knocking on the door, a juvenile female opened the door and wouldn't let me in. This is false.
Wait, what?
Straight out false. Juvenile female did not open the door at all. I don't know why.
Okay, hang on.
A female opened the door and wouldn't let me in. This is false. Straight out false. Juvenile female did not open the door at all. I don't know why they wrote that down, but okay. Nicholas Rekieta would not...
Okay. Upon knocking on the door, a juvenile female opened the door and wouldn't let them in. She answered the door, you idiot, but she didn't answer it. So yeah, it was a typo or a misunderstanding. It's not a big deal.
Upon knocking on the door, a juvenile female opened the door and wouldn't let me in. This is false.
Like, I think there was, like, some kind of, like, peephole or something that you had to open, right? So I think that's technically correct. It's just phrased wrong. But yeah, we know that did happen. That, like, the 9-year-old girl answered the door. Was it a 9-year-old? It was one of the girls. She did answer the door, and she didn't open it. Like, I don't know if I can't remember if she was instructed to do that by Nick or whatever, but
straight out false. Juvenile female did not open the door at all. I don't know why they wrote that down, but okay. Nicholas Rekieta would not provide the door code to enter the residence. That's true. I just said, show me the warrant and I'll give you the code. I'll walk you in myself. But they didn't want to do that. I wasn't there, to be clear. Again, they kind of are. These complaints are written in this real muddy sort of way, and I'm not sure why. Like, they can't just write clearly about what happened, but
that's pretty clear, though. That's pretty clear. Like, again,
enforcement entered the home utilizing a door ramp and a big boy wielding it. Upon entry, law enforcement located Kayla Rekieta and April Imholt, and 4 juveniles were also in the home. That's not true either. Good job, guys. Got that one wrong as well.
What?
There were only 3 juveniles in the home. Kayla Rekieta and Imholt were
3. Okay, so, like, there was a kid with him in the car. Where was the 5th? Right. So it.
There were only 3 juveniles in the home. Kayla, Rekieta, and Imholt were located in the master bedroom. Officers noted the home was extremely cluttered. There were clothes everywhere, dirty dishes, dust, and an overall dirty home. It's almost like people lived there. Nicholas...
Yeah, we've seen your shower, bro. Like, we know you don't clean shit. Like, show us the footage, Nick. Show us the footage.
Rekieta returned to the home with law enforcement. Returned to the home? I went to the home with law enforcement. He demanded a copy of...
Okay.
Returned to the home? I went to the home with law enforcement. He demanded a copy of search warrant. I forgot the article. When given a copy, he looked at it and threw it on the ground. That's true. During the search...
Wait, what?
When given a copy of search warrant... I forgot the article. When given a copy, he looked at it and threw it on the ground. That's true. During...
So wait. You're seriously going to be like, oh, I'm not going to let them in without a warrant. And then they show you the warrant? And then you just, like, throw it on the ground? Huh? Like, how is this supposed to make you look good? Like, how exactly is this some big epic win for Nick Rekieta? Like, oh, man, you need a warrant, but I'm still going to disrespect it anyway. Like, what a retard. Like, unbelievable.
In the search, law enforcement located the following in the master bedroom. Following items are located in the master bedroom near the nightstand. This is interesting because this is a lot about me. April is not the star of this show. Yellow snort tube, positive for cocaine. Black vial with white substance inside that field tested positive for cocaine and weighed 2.2 grams. That's a run-on sentence. 2 credit cards listed to Imholt. The yellow snort tube and the black vial containing cocaine were found directly on top of the credit cards. 2 .22 caliber spent shell casings on the floor of the nightstand in the master bedroom. Guys, one day I'm going to show you all about those shell casings. It's kind of funny. It's funny because they're like, we gonna take your kids. And I'm like, I don't even have a 22, you dumb fuckers. It's just from art. The following item was located underneath the bed in the master bedroom. 6-hour AR with several magazines and loose ammunition. Serial number, whatever. Following item was located in the master bedroom dresser. Glass container with metal filter and grinder and glass container that field tested.
I think even this counts as, like, talking about his own case, right? Because, like, how does he think this is going to... Again, he keeps doing this thing, like, oh, I can't talk about my own case, guys. I can't talk about my own case. But, like, here he is talking about the case like a retard. Like,
The following items were located in a safe in the master bathroom. Bag with cards and dollar bill that field tested positive for cocaine. Large corner cut baggie with white powder that field tested positive for cocaine and weighed 18.96 grams of packaging. 3 small baggies that field tested positive for cocaine and weighed 5.49 grams of packaging. 8 green colored tablets that field tested positive for ketamine. Digital scale that field tested positive for cocaine. Metal pan with white powder on it that tested positive for cocaine. 2 snort tubes and 2 metal cutters. Snort tubes tested positive for cocaine. Following items located in a safe in the master bedroom closet. This is all alleged by the county, by the way. I'm not admitting to
alleged? You're going to read all that with a straight face and then try to tell us, oh, it's just alleged that this was there. It's just a conspiracy by the government, bro. Like, come on. You were more angry about not being pulled over by the cops than you were about this. You were trying to tell us that, like, well, actually, my daughter didn't open the door. Like, but the instant you read off that massive list of drugs you had lying around, you don't really say anything. It's so conspicuous. What a dumbass. Like, he really thinks this is gonna work. Like,
this shit. This is their list. $100 bill with white powder residue that field tested positive for cocaine. Bindle white bag. Bindle white bag. With white powder substance that field tested positive for cocaine. Cocaine scooper. So like a pooper scooper? Like, you know the things that you pick up dog shit with, like little claw thing? What is that? 2 baggies with a baggie. 2 baggies within a baggie with a funnel. That's confusing. Unknown brown substance. Oh, I hope it's poop. Additional firearms and ammunition were located in the garage. Imholt's purse was located in the hallway inside the master bedroom leading to the attached bathroom. The total amount of measurable cocaine in the master bedroom was 26.67 grams with packaging. It's a big package. Cocaine is a Schedule 2 controlled substance. Ketamine is a Schedule 1 controlled substance. That's not true. Ketamine is a Schedule 3 controlled substance. Good job, drug recognition experts and sheriff of the county that I'm in. Detective Pump.
Really? He's gonna argue with these people over like semantics? Well, actually, the classification of this illegal substance is different than it is in the report. Like, come on. Come on.
Experts and sheriff of the county that I'm in. Detective Pomplin, this guy's a winner, met with Nicholas Rekieta outside the residence. He was read his Miranda rights, and he agreed to speak to officers without counsel. Nicholas Rekieta indicated that he sleeps in the master bedroom with Kayla Rekieta. He indicated that Imholt was at the home visiting. Nicholas Rekieta and Kayla Rekieta were placed under arrest. While being placed under arrest, Detective Pomplin noted several injuries to the arms of Nicholas Rekieta that appeared consistent with sores that are common with controlled substance users. No, they did not. They were
Wait.
this
Wait. Huh?
that are common with controlled substance users. No, they did not.
So, wait a minute. So, what were they then? Like, is he disputing that, like, controlled substances cause those kind of sores? Is he, like, in denial about this? Like, what is he even disputing here? Like, again, the officer made an observation and then followed up on it. Like, again, they're just telling it, like, again, it makes perfect sense.
They were It's funny because one of the pictures that they have of my sores on my arms, the guy handcuffing me has a sore on his arm because some people get sores on their arms, but okay. They're transported to the Candy-Ojai County Jail. Kayla did not speak with officers. At the Candy-Ojai County Jail, Nicholas Rekieta was again read his Miranda rights. I got Miranda twice. And agreed to speak with officers without an attorney. Nicholas Rekieta refused to answer any questions regarding cocaine or other controlled substance use. Nicholas Rekieta indicates that he lives in the residence. He stays in the master bedroom with his wife, Kayla Rekieta. Imholt was a friend who was visiting and does not live at the residence. While being booked into the jail, Kayla Rekieta...
Yeah, look at that. The residence, right? Like, she was living in the other house. Like, that's right there. So, again, it's like, it's just him thinking he's clever when, like, really what he's doing is retarded. But
requested that her prescription medication be brought to her. Upon reviewing the prescription bottles for Kayla Rekieta that were brought to the jail, jail staff found 2 unknown pills and gummies in one of the prescription bottles. 2 unknown pills and gummies. Okay, both of those are plural, but they're different things. But there's 2. It's confusing. These items did not match the prescription on the bottle. Kayla Rekieta informed child protection workers that Imholt is their live-in nanny. This is not a true statement by the drafting officer here. Not a true statement by.
okay, you weren't there. Okay, Kayla gave that statement. Kayla was the one who testified to that. Like, Kayla said that. You don't know what Kayla said, right? And yet you're gonna sit there and try to say that, like, it's a lie made up by the courts and not Kayla being taken off guard and, like, admitting to something that you did not want them to know, right? Again, this is I don't know, like, I don't understand what he thinks he's going to accomplish by, like, trying to convince people that she's not a live-in nanny. Especially, yeah, this is the thing. Like, he spent the entire early part of the stream complaining about, like, oh, what does it matter that April was in my office? Like, it's because you're disputing this. You know, this is one of those points that you're really heavily contesting right now, is that, like, no, April doesn't live with us. She's just visiting all the time. She even sleeps in the same bed with us. Like, unbelievable.
The drafting officer here. If you go back and read my complaint, this is a fun game of that insular telephone that we're talking about here. This is one of the instances where it happens. It happens in another place too, but Kayla did not inform a child protection worker that Imholt is a live-in nanny. A child protection worker asked Kayla, according to the other complaint, what the status of our live-in nanny Cheney. Actually, what the status of our nanny was, our former nanny, Cheney, who she described as basically a live-in nanny. The CPS worker did. Kayla indicated that April was our nanny. And the CPS worker took that and made that into April being a live-in nanny.
What? Wait. So so they were talking about the old nanny, even though she's not there anymore. There's no reason to bring her up or talk about her at all unless she's being brought in for questioning, right? So like they talked about the old nanny, and then Kayla for some reason brought up April, and that somehow led to like the government thinking that like April was the live-in nanny. That doesn't make any fucking sense, you retard. We gotta listen to that again. I don't know if I got that right.
Cheney, who she described as basically a live-in nanny. The CPS worker did. Kayla indicated that April was our nanny. And
yeah, indicated. That's what the document says. What are you even arguing against, right? Kayla made the statement that April is their new nanny. What are you disputing? Like, again, it's just...
The CPS worker took that and made that into April being a live-in nanny. She did not say she was the live-in nanny because we have never had a live-in nanny, ever. Our former nanny was not a live-in nanny. April is not a live-in nanny. We don't have a bedroom for a live-in nanny.
Yeah, we don't have a bedroom because she's in your bedroom, you retard. Like, we have never had a live-in nanny. Yeah, because April... Come on. What an idiot. Does he really think this is going to fly? Like, April's not our nanny. Like, come on.
Bedrooms are full of kids. So, that being said, this is one of those things, though. It gets put in the complaint that this is what is said. That's not what was said. That is what the CPS worker decided to label our former nanny as, even though she never lived in our home at all. She says, technically or basically, I can't remember the exact wording. It's either technically or basically a live-in nanny. And then that gets put onto Kayla as her making this claim, but that didn't happen. But, of course, now what has happened?
I really wonder if that's, like, demonstratively proven to not be true, right? Because this is, the way it looked to me when this happened, and I might be wrong about this, I might be misremembering, like, Kayla was interviewed separately from Nick, right? So, like, Nick wasn't, like, counseling her, and she was just put on the spot, and she decided to claim that April was the nanny, right? In order to try and, like, get heat off of them for being a throuple or whatever. Right, like that's what it looked like to me. Is that like that Kayla made a unwise decision in the heat of a moment, and it kind of exposed what was going on, right? And of course, it made them all look really bad, and so like Nick has to damage control this. So this is why like this story makes no sense. Is that like Kayla is a retard, and Nick has to sweep it up for her. But
officers have used that statement in part as a basis for bringing this charge. So here we have a government worker, and again, this isn't like some malicious lie, right? This is some statement. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not going to accuse her of that at this point. She lies in other places plenty of times. But giving her the benefit of the doubt, this is a statement where she's like, well, you guys have like a nanny or whatever, right? Like a live-in or something. And then, because that's not our nanny. Actually, April over there is our nanny. She replaced the former one. She goes, oh, so the CPS worker goes, that's the live-in nanny, and writes it down. That becomes now a fact.
Wait, what? But how does that change anything, though? Like, It's just,
Fact. It's great. So please take notice, pursuant to Minister Statute 609.49, intentional failure to appear for duly scheduled court appearances may result in additional criminal charges in addition to any arrest warrant that may otherwise be issued by the court. This is weird, because what Do you guys see where the crime is?
Possession, child endangerment.
I know you can find. You can try and find a crime, like in these facts. You can say, okay, well, here, this might be a crime. This might be a crime. This might be a crime. Where's the?
So he's gonna try and do this thing like, oh, there was no drugs there, but what I was doing wasn't illegal. Like, if there were, they weren't illegal. Like, huh? Like, who's he trying to fool with this? It doesn't make any sense. Like, again, you can see in the document what he did, how the cops like came to the conclusions that they did. You know, like, again.
Actual accusation in this statement of probable cause. They say in the complaint that she's accused of owning more than a quarter gram of cocaine. Well, they've got a couple different alleged sets of cocaine to choose from. Which one is it?
Oh, maybe the one that covered all of her credit cards. Dumbass. Like, come on.
And herein lies the problem.
What an idiot.
What is she accused of owning? So this is where you come into having the
drugs
dismissed, which I'll have to pull up because I didn't grab it just a second ago.
I'm not a lawyer, and I'm beating him. This is like Ace Attorney on ultra easy mode. Like, forget Winston Payne. Like, this guy is like the first is like lower than Winston Payne. Like, Phoenix Wright just goes home, goes onto YouTube, and just like argues with Nick Rekieta all day. Like, unbelievable.
I can get it now. Why is case search down? Hold on. Let me see if I can. I think I have it on here somewhere. I know I had that fucking document. Damn it. This is down. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it up right now. Maybe someone can send it to me. Or I can find it somewhere. But hold on, there's a couple more chats. But yeah, I wanted to get into that live-in nanny part because it's this interesting place where the county has created this. And again, it's not necessarily nefarious. It's not like they went in there like, we're going to plan to live in.
So like, he's clearly desperate to like downplay the fact that April's living with them. Why? Like, again, like what purpose does it serve? Is it purely for family reasons? Like, what's the logic behind it? He keeps doing this thing where he denies that like she's living with them, even though she obviously is. Like, it's very noticeable, very noticeable.
A nanny in their house, like that's weird, right? Could be helpful for some people, but that's weird. If the county were to do that, they didn't have to, right? They have just a little inaccuracy, this minor inaccuracy where someone uses, again, a common vernacular of a live-in. But if you don't have a live-in, someone says, oh, is that a live-in nanny? And you're like, well, kind of, or whatever. Like, you might do that. And it doesn't matter normally, right? Because who cares if you label someone a live-in or not normally. Now, though, that label has partially resulted in these charges. So it's kind of fun. It's fun how crime works. Oh, my God. Vaz Kalma says, how come the only women you can get are women you're giving money to?
Bro.
Stop pay-pigging for April and watch how fast she scrams. Meet me.
Base!
Oh, boy.
Wrecked.
All right, my friend.
Wrecked.
Carathola X.
Wow. He was rattled by that. He was shook. Like, unbelievable. Unbelievable. He knows she's only there for the money. He knows that. But he can't bring himself to face it. Like, ooh. That's rough, buddy. Man. That's definitely one of like the plus sides of growing up poor. You know that they're not there for the money. Like unbelievable.
Nick, your house from an aerial view looks like a bent manhood. It's just not excited right now. You leave him alone. Lowell, also, Birchmore wasn't just groomed. She got Epsteined even though cop caught on camera. Well, you're making my faith in the state just run wild. Gino says, you have a brilliant legal mind. Uh-oh, waiting for the butt. We need you to analyze and give us your insight. Example, Rittenhouse. I find it disgusting. Attorneys grifting off your case. Oh, okay. Wait, what do you want me to analyze and give you insight on? My case? I want to. I can't, though. Grifty says, I'm sure you can find it on Kiwi Farms. I can. I'm sure. Yeah. No, I think I got it. Just a second. Anime Sucks Copen Sneed says, Nick, a conundrum has occurred. Do you think a general discussion thread centered around AI art of morbidly obese furries and scalies should allow morbidly obese furries and scalies farting? Yes or no? Morbidly obese and furries and scalies, the farting has to happen. Otherwise, it's just not reality. You can't AI farting away from furries, okay? And you know that. You know that. God. Have they invented enough gas for the furries yet? Hold on, I think I've got it in email here. Oh my God. So what happens when you don't check your email very often? Oh, there. I think we got it. Friends, here's the motion to dismiss. Sorry for my lack of preparedness. Like I said, my overall disorganization is just going to come through heavy today. It's an ADD heavy day for me. I've been engaging in activity that is emotionally fucking just draining. It's not even like some of it's really sad, but that's not what I was talking about, actually. There's plenty of sad things that happen all the time. But no, it's just fucking tiring shit you have to go through. You have to go through it. And it's like, well, I don't want to go do anything else. Sound like a baby. I want to do something else. Darn Bungholio says, should your furry outfit have balls or no balls? You know the answer to that. Always balls. It's weird without balls. Guys, would you trust a furry without balls? I wouldn't. Doesn't mean I'd trust a furry with balls either. Motion to dismiss complaint. Okay, so getting back into this. At your first appearance, generally speaking, what happens is this. At your first appearance, they go in, they make sure that you understand that you're charged with a crime and what crime you're charged with. You can even have the court read the entire complaint, like we just did, out loud on the record, if you want them to. If you, for some people, maybe they have literacy problems or whatever, they may actually need the complaint read to them to help them understand what's going on. Generally speaking, people are going to waive that because it takes a lot of time. And you enter a plea of either guilty sometimes or not guilty most of the time. And then you get to scheduling the next hearing. That's about all you really have to do at most first appearances. On occasion, an attorney may find it useful to file a motion to dismiss. If they believe there's sufficient grounds to dismiss a complaint outright at the beginning, they'll file a motion to dismiss. Now, this usually does not actually resolve the case, even if you win. It does dismiss the complaint itself, and the government would have to then refile if they wanted to go after you. And it can be dismissed with prejudice, but oftentimes they'll just dismiss it without prejudice and allow the government the opportunity to amend the complaint, offer more clarity. Now, if it's clear that the government doesn't have access to the facts to actually support any kind of claim, a judge may dismiss it outright with prejudice and say, okay, yeah, you got nothing. But if they find that there are sufficient facts and maybe there just needs to be more particular wording, they can offer the state the opportunity to rectify the problem. But because you really aren't typically winning this motion and winning the case, it doesn't really hang around. It doesn't really come up as often because usually you're going to just wait until your Rule 11 omnibus hearing in which you would make your pretrial challenges. That's what I'm in the process of right now. Is you would go to your Rule 11 hearing, and that's when you would challenge probable cause for the charges, probable cause for the warrant, et cetera, et cetera. Any of those dispositive motions are resolved there typically. You're also, at that point, you're going to have some discovery come through, and things are going to kind of be rolling. And that's why it's a little bit better position to go after this. And that's what ended up happening here. The judge basically said, probably want to refile this around the omnibus time. Thinks it's a little premature here. I actually disagree with the judge, but not in a harsh way. I mean, there's no practical impact to the decision going this way, so it's not that big of a deal. But I disagree. I think that this complaint is facially deficient, and I think the motion here is correctly argued. When we watched the video, there's some things that I thought maybe could have been brought up. Now, I'm not criticizing her lawyer at all. He seems like a cool dude, but it's there's some things that could maybe be brought up that I'll, if I remember them, I'll try and mention them as we go. But he really doesn't. There's not like a big fight that goes on because you don't really need to have a huge fight here. What he gets out of this is immediately apparent, and we'll talk about it in a minute. Okay, so here we go. This is a motion to dismiss. The defendant, April, through her attorney, Thomas Gallagher, and pursuant to Minnesota Rules of Criminal Procedure 11.03, hereby moves to dismiss the complaint. This motion is based on the files, records, and proceedings herein and on the following grounds. Complaint does not comply with Rules of Criminal Procedure 2.01. Complaint fails to allege facts amounting to probable cause to believe that an offense was committed. This actually, right here, is true. It's true. Because it just doesn't say which facts actually show.
I think in theory, if like April really was like just visiting, she wouldn't have been arrested, but that was very clearly not the case by simply examining the scene. Like that's but anyway.
Any kind of possession. They leave a couple breadcrumbs, but the complaint fails to establish probable cause to believe the defendant committed an offense. There's another one, like even if you can find an offense committed in the fact pattern, it doesn't say that April committed the offense. And then fourth, further moves the court pursuant to 5th and 6th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution for an order dismissing the complaint for lack of sufficiency or in the alternative requiring the government to furnish the defendant with a bill of particulars. Now, none of this was granted by the judge, but it doesn't matter. Like again, the judge didn't order a bill of particulars, but the government does, or the state does clarify their position on what April is alleged to own in this case. So we actually do get some of that information out.
You have another hour of footage left, and I can't really stay awake through it. Again, I was working all night, so my apologies. I would grind through it, but I guess we could just skip ahead and just see, because I won't be coming back to this.
Defendant, for the reasons respectfully request the court. Okay, shot across the bow, right? Like you're not doing your job well. There's a whole lot of reasons that the DA may not be doing their job well. DA, I say DA, it's county attorney, assistant county attorney. But the assistant county attorney may not be doing their job well for a lot of things. I won't get too deep into speculation. I know you guys are smart and figure out some reasons why that might be, but I have reasons to not talk about it. Unfortunately, boring. But there are some reasons why this just might not be a well-drafted complaint. And frankly, this motion kind of sets the tone, right? Hey, let's get fucking gear here. Like, let's figure this out. You can't just generally allege some criminal activity has occurred without saying what it actually was. We're going to watch that video as soon as I pull it up, and then that will give us kind of the next step in what that activity is, where the government gets it more particular. But I want to point out something here as we go. I know this is kind of all together, but let's see. Oh, I gotta get this. The hearing itself. And we'll pull this thing up.
Oh.
Is this one gonna work? There we go. Oh my god. Okay, it looks.
And as outlined in that rule and in the comment to that rule, if the fact.
What do you? Damn. Why don't you try that one? Look, so here's the thing, guys. I wanted to do this because there's been this story floating around. This kind of came up the other day, and I actually, like I said, I saw this on Kiwi Farms, and it finally has kind of resolved itself, which is weird. People have accused me of confronting a judge. Actually, I believe they are accusing me of confronting that judge, Judge Fisher, in an elevator. I can safely say I don't recall ever being in an elevator with Judge Fisher.
Yeah, you told this story on a stream. I could probably find it if I dig for it. Yeah, we're gonna have to take notes, honestly, because there's a lot of stuff that I would definitely want Kiwi Farms to follow up on. Yeah, we're gonna be going through this for sure. Yeah, we might do this. Okay. Let's see notes. Shit, I haven't been making anything. Okay, Rekieta 829. Let's see. I never confronted Judge Fisher in an elevator. Uh, 136. Shit, okay. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to. Oh yeah, and the cop car thing. Not pulled over by the cops when I was arrested. Yeah, we're gonna have to like. I'm gonna try stamping this, and I'll post it after we're done. There was some bullshit about the name. Okay. But yeah, those are the two things I remember. Okay, we're gonna have to start taking notes because this is getting unfairly autistic.
Confronting Judge Fisher. But this is how this thing works. It's this insular telephone. Part of my falling.
I'm pretty sure he told the story on stream, right? And people inferred. I really want people to look this up. I really do.
Out with Josh Moon from Kiwi Farms was trying to inform him of the insular telephone problem. I didn't have a witty name for it, but trying to inform him of the insular telephone problem on the farms, where a group of people
Has he talked about DSP yet?
Will create something, and they'll morph a set of ideas into something that didn't exist before.
I actually post the clip now. Let's see. Hit a law. Okay, 136.
Major fundraising.
Yeah, fuck you, Kamala. Kamala keeps asking me for money every time I pull up a YouTube video. Okay, 136.
I really do wonder what the independent says now unbased data should be fed. What actually is reason? We accept bail, but what is like concession? Where is it? But have fun. Halligan News says you can save April and life and admit all of the shoulders. You could save all of us and admit all of the shoulders. What? Yeah, why don't you try that one? So here's the thing, guys. I wanted to do this because there's been
Okay, hopefully that's good enough. Yeah, hopefully I didn't fuck that up. Okay.
But it will become factual. And in this case, it's a story I told. Actually, yes, about Judge Fisher. It was the last criminal case I represented, and after that case was over, after the sentencing was done, which my client got the guideline sentence. The judge was not willing to turn that many felonies into a stay of adjudication. Shucks. I was hoping for it. Was really unlikely. But after that, one of the things the judge had said while dressing down my client during sentencing, which is something judges do, they give a life lesson to the person who's about to go to prison. Because, like, I don't know. If I'm going to prison, right, if you're sentencing me and I'm going to go from the sentencing to prison, the last thing I'm thinking about, honestly, is like the heartjot life lesson that the judge is giving me. I'm not even trying to be rude. It's just not the thing that would be on my mind. But the judge is dressing down my client, and my client was charged with and pled guilty to stealing quite a large sum of money. And the judge took umbrage at one point with the idea that my client had paid for a private attorney. And, so judge had dressed her down for that. And the hearing was over, and my client was taken away. I was packing up my stuff. I was the last person in the courtroom. The judge re-entered the courtroom. To be clear, I'm still at counsel table, and the judge is up at the bench. Like, I'm nowhere near this judge. When I just said, "Hey, judge, I didn't take a dime for the case. I did it for free." The judge seemed to be frustrated with my client for having the audacity to hire a private attorney while being accused of stealing money. Which is not actually a proper criticism at all, but hey, but I informed the judge that I took the case pro bono, and she said, "Thanks for that." I don't know exactly what she meant when she said thanks for that. I took it as kind of like a
what? Huh? Like, I don't understand. You had more than one interaction with this judge, okay? He or she does not like you. It's a woman, right?
I feel kind of like an asshole. That's the kind of feel I got. Like, oh, I guess I was kind of an asshole for saying that. Wasn't going to change her opinion. I mean, she gave her the guideline sentence, so I don't think there's much impact there. But I thought it was improper, and I let the judge know that I took the case pro bono.
It's a woman.
Wasn't paid for it.
Woman. Female.
So yeah, that was that. But what happened was one person on Kiwi Farms, like a year after I told the story, created the detail that I confronted this, or that this happened in an elevator. And then it became that I confronted this judge in an elevator. And then the story on Kiwi Farms most recently is that, like, I aggressively confronted a judge in an elevator. Because this sounds like a reasonable thing for an attorney to do, is to aggressively confront a judge in an elevator, especially when I'm like a larger man and the judge is a smaller woman. Height-wise, we're talking about a pretty significant difference here. But the suggestion that I confronted this judge in an elevator and like aggressively berated her for this thing is fucking ludicrous. But this is...
I'm not an expert on this, but I think he did specifically say he did talk to her in an elevator about something. And, like, the implication was that, like, he was overly aggressive and she shit on him for it, right? Like, after losing the case the way he did. That's the way I remember it. I'll have to, like, look up the details. This might be an interesting bit of lore to go back to. Yeah, we should do that this weekend.
people's headcanon on Kiwi Farms.
Headcanon, what a
Look,
retard.
I'm not.
Never
I'm not
trust
doing
someone who says
anything.
headcanon.
It's like, oh, Nick found this thing. He's gonna say that everything. No, it's just like this is an example. This is an example of part of the problem that I was trying to tell Josh about like a year and a half ago before he started looking at Shota again. Or whatever he does. You get this game of telephone where facts are created about people and they become the truth according to the farm. So you can't like there's no defense. People independently found it today after, I mean, I guess this story has been going on for a couple of years now. And I finally said, like, I can recall one time being in an elevator with a judge. It wasn't that one, and I was in law school, and I was certainly not confrontational. I was quite friendly. So I'm not sure where this even fucking came from, but it turned out it was just one dummy on Kiwi Farms who just created the detail, and then he so belligerently insisted that it was the truth that it became the truth, and there was no one to check it. So the story came out.
Yeah, except for like everybody else on Kiwi Farms who's like analyzing everything you say obsessively and that have proven time and time again that you are a compulsive liar. I have footage on my channel of you claiming that you never knew Ty Beard before the Vic Mignogna case, even though you were the one who recommended him to Vic, right? Like, again, you were the reason Ty Beard got involved, right? Because you've known him for years. He manages your family's trust fund, right? It's like again, that was a blatant lie. Like, again, I don't. Does he think people aren't going to call him out on this? Because, like, I really hope Kiwi Farms catches wind of this and, like, manages to prove this is wrong. Because I can't do it, like, off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's, like, I don't remember the elevator. I don't remember. I remember seeing the elevator story. I never like took that much notice. But anyway,
In this case, in ways that are,
I think he's a filthy liar.
Things and they pop up in observable ways. That's why I like the ability to see some of this stuff. And in this case, you know, Miss Pierce has stated that drugs were out in the open. Those are not the facts alleged in the probable cause statement. They're just simply not the facts. But she's created facts that would create liability, not just for April potentially, but also for Kayla, because the statute is anyone in the room.
2 hours of this absolute bullshit stream.
The fact created by Miss Pierce isn't true.
Like, unbelievable.
In court on the record. Question is, who's gonna prosecute her for it, right? Who's gonna go after her for that? Is the state gonna go after itself? And the same thing with Alicia Sweep. Alicia Sweep created the concept of a live-in nanny at the Rekieta household, something we've never had.
So, like, he's gonna claim that, like, Alicia Sweep, like, fucked him over by claiming he had a live-in nanny. Like, really? Like, again, the document's very specific. Is that, like, Kayla indicated that April was a nanny. Like, we don't know the circumstances of that. But again, like, he's trying to make it
Never been a thing, actually. And these statements are impactful. They're material to the actual charging of crimes. And they also,
which is why you're trying to obfuscate them. It's why you're making shit up and trying to try and muddy the waters about like stupid things, like what April's last name is, and like whether or not that was her PO box, right? Because you're desperate for a W.
So of course, conveniently get spread to the public because part of the government machine of prosecution is to have these allegations go out. They exist in the public eye. So now I have people who believe that we had a live-in nanny. Actually, I have people who believe we had 2 live-in nannies. We've never had a live-in nanny. And that those contain, to put it lightly, those misstatements of fact not only have a legal impact on me, on my wife, on our nanny, they also have a social.
What on our nanny? So is he implying that like April is the nanny? Because we know that like the former nanny was not implicated in anything. I don't think, right? So like, yeah, our nanny. So he's talking about April. Like, wait, what?
Social impact, because people make certain determinations and judgments, and people think certain things about that situation. And the ability of the government to utilize these small misrepresentations um, is quite something, and it's fucking wildly damaging um, to your, I guess, your social status. I guess is the word. I don't know how else to say it. I don't like that phrase, but I mean, people have drawn conclusions about that, but that's based entirely on a bastardization of what actually transpired. And it was probably someone's shorthand notes. Probably wasn't nefarious, but you think they're mad about it? They're not. Fair warning, they're not mad about it. But this is the way it goes, and this is what I've been trying to kind of hint at for a little bit now, and now there's an opportunity because they've fucking done it. Like it's right there in the open. I can point it out, and it contradicts their own documentation. See, that's kind of the trick with the saying that this substance was out in the open. That contradicts their own documentation about the event, and it's a their drafting of the complaint and then the recitation of facts on the record are two different things, and they mean legally different things. But that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying it's these little things that add up together. Those are the things that really start to. That's how these prosecutions occur. That's how.
So yeah, 2 hours of this, and he's never done the obvious. Where'd the cocaine come from, Nick? Why was there cocaine everywhere? Like, why are you refusing to address, like, the elephant in the room is that the cops showed up with a warrant and found a bunch of drugs, right? Like, again, how do you go 2 hours coping and not address the fact that you had illegal substances in your house? Like, how do you bungle this so hard?
People end up under the thumb of government for significant amounts of times. And someday I can tell you the story, but in our Child Protective Services case is full of those. Absolutely full of those. When we found the sources of some of the accusations, and we found out that the accusations were never actually accused, for example. Like they didn't actually make that accusation. Someone took a precautionary statement. So I was looking for this, not that a thing occurred, but they were looking for this thing, and then they just determined that that thing had happened, but it never did. And the way that they conduct their investigations and the way that they communicate with you or don't communicate with you, as it were, it makes it so that you don't even get to figure out the nature of where these claims come from, so you don't get to combat them at all. And some of them are really stupid and don't matter, and other ones are really stupid and really fucking matter. But they will take these half-truths, or they'll take a misread of a statement, and it just changes one word. The addition of live-in to nanny.
So is he just coping and seething that his brilliant legal strategy of like, well, actually, April is no longer an impulse, like, isn't working? Is that what he's doing? That sounds an awful lot like he's doing is that he's upset that, like, the courts aren't going along with his stupid word games, right? That they aren't going along with, like the spectacle of the schnoz. They're not going along with his narrative, and so he's like seething about it, like unbelievable.
Changes the entire scope of the relationship with April or our former nanny Cheney. Either of them being a live-in nanny is a completely different thing than someone who does not live at our house.
why does he keep like bringing up the old nanny? Like, why does she matter? She hasn't been implicated in anything. Like, again, he wants to like. It's like he wants to bring her into this for some reason. Like, no one's accused her of anything, doing anything wrong. Nobody knows anything about her. Like, the big thing I speculate about her is that like she left because Nick and Kayla were trying to fuck her. Right? That's like my legit like genuine feeling about that. But like other than that, like we don't know anything about it. But like Nick wants to like take that nanny statement and try to make it about her instead. Like it just she had left by the time that like they were arrested. So like why bring her up at all? It doesn't make any
Someone who shows up early in the morning and helps get our kids to school is different from someone who sleeps in the house. I don't know how else to describe that, but that was created by someone else.
created.
So, it's I found this interesting for me. This is probably just my own, catharsis necessary for me, but it's to be able to demonstrate this thing that I've been talking about, where these
You didn't make a single good point. Like I've listened to him talk for like almost 2 hours. There wasn't a single good statement he made. Right? He didn't address the drugs. He didn't address the warrant. Like he talks all this shit like, the cops didn't pull me over. I pulled myself over, as if that's some big W. Like, why does he think he's winning? Like, I don't understand how he can like seriously do these coke streams and like, and think he's gonna come out of this like looking good. Like it's not working, bro. Like it's a complete and utter failure.
It's not a big grand conspiracy. There's not like some Barnes. I love Barnes, right? But he talks about like Nick's a champion. He's out there. He's the loudest guy in the county criticizing government. Of course they're gonna come after him, right? Like I love that. It's great. It's great. I don't know if Barnes is right on that. I don't dabble in that world, but that's like the grand conspiracy. It's targeted, it's focused, and it really puts me up on some kind of pedestal. And I'm like, I don't see myself that way. I'm just a jackass who fucking goes online and drinks and like tells jokes and stories, and
hey, you're not supposed to be drinking.
That turned into really pissing a bunch of people off. Sorry, but I don't see myself that way. Like that's the way that Barnes describes it. When I'm talking about like what happens to all sorts of people all the time. This is not unique to me in any capacity, but it's these little twists or misreads or mishears or a note is jotted down wrong. And then that becomes this insular game of telephone, and a story that didn't happen occurs. And then the problem is you have someone who needs to figure out, they have to solve the story. You have to solve the story, and it gets associated with your case, and things get to be just a fucking mess. And it's all because like you added the words "live in," for example. In this case, there's a whole bunch of this. Our whole case is full of this shit. Someday, so I don't know. I'm gonna get one of those Vegas.
I don't know. Why is he so hung up on the whole live-in thing? Like he really doesn't want people to know that like April's living with them. Like why? There has to be some specific reason for it. Like people like have said this before. Like it would have been really easy for them to say that like she's a friend who's going through a divorce and she's living with us for now, right? Like I don't understand why like he keeps doing this thing where like she's just visiting and she's just a friend, but like that's no. I think they would have been better off if they were honest about that. Like, I don't see why they feel the need to lie about it all the time.
Money hurricane machines. I'm going to write down all the fucking fucked up facts that they have. Oh, I'm supposed to say that less. Messed up facts that they have on little pieces of paper, and it's going to blow around. You're just going to sit in there and grab them. That won't be any fun. Let's see. Allegan News says $20K to keep your side piece out is A-okay. He also says Vince McMahon would pay $20K to keep side piece out. Wildly Law says there's an elevator in Candy, Ohio County. There is, I think. There's right by the stairs in the courthouse, but I just usually go up the stairs, but some people have trouble going up and downstairs. Oh, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. My spirit
Wait.
says, I read that.
Keep your mouth shut? Wait, huh? Is he saying that to himself in the chat?
But some people have trouble going up and downstairs. Oh, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut.
Some people have problems going up and down stairs. That sounds like a fat joke, but like, huh?
I just usually go up the stairs, but some people have trouble going up and downstairs. Oh, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut.
So like he catches himself and stops.
I just usually go up the stairs, but some people have trouble going up and downstairs. Oh, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut.
What does that mean? Like, I don't... Huh? Keep your mouth shut, keep your mouth... Huh? So, I don't know. Was that a fat joke directed at Fisher? That's the only thing I can think of. But...
My spirit to yours says, I read that a warrant is not issued if the only alleged crime is controlled substance for personal use. So if 2 days before warrant, CPS didn't see any neglect, did kids come back into play to justify a warrant? Okay. I think people missed this when we're reviewing our motion. Now I'm talking about my motion to throw out the warrant. Well, really, to get a Frank's hearing to then throw out the warrant. People have this bipolar sort of approach where they say it was about the controlled substances. The search warrant was about the controlled substances. It wasn't about the kids. But then they bring up, well, there's this mandated reporter who's talking about the kids and blah, blah. And when you get down to the final request, just in the warrant affidavit itself, you get down to the final paragraph where it's asking the court to approve the warrant. The first thing they say is investigating potential child neglect and then controlled substances. That matters a lot in regards to that letter, because that letter, here's the way I thought of this just the other day, over the weekend. I thought of how to best describe this letter, the letter from May 20th. So the report comes in on the 16th of May, the potential neglect report, okay? And then on the 20th of May, Candy Ohio County Family Services, Health and Human Services, sends a letter to the Sheriff's Department, back to the Sheriff's Department, that says, in effect,
who the hell cares?
Everything
Unbelievable.
inside this mandated report is true. There is no crime. That's what the letter says effectively. The actual verbiage is, this report does not rise to the level of child neglect under the Minnesota statutes 260D point blah, 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 right? But this is why it becomes critically fucking important that the detective who is in the warrant affidavit utilizing this report, the detective had been told that the mandated report that he's going to investigate does not rise to the level of a criminal act. So he's not asking to investigate a criminal act. By omitting that detail to the judge, he's telling the judge that he's going to investigate a crime that he knows isn't criminal, because he's been told by the body that determines criminality that it's not. And if you don't understand why that is really important, it's that he put that in there because he didn't think he would get the warrant without going after the kids. But he knew that going after the kids was false.
Okay. So his claim is that they submitted for a warrant, but they didn't have enough evidence. So they had to claim child neglect in order to get the warrant approved so they could go to the house and, like, arrest them because they're corrupt, apparently. Like, huh? Like, it's just like, come on, bro. Like, oh, I did nothing wrong. It's the cops who are wrong. Like, come on. So that's legit what he's, like, alleging here is that the cops knew that they couldn't get him based on something he didn't do, so they just accused them of neglect. Like, unbelievable.
He knows it. He knew it when he excluded the letter. He knew it when he included the thing, the report. That report had already been dealt with. So, and again, for people who miss it, the request is for the children first. And why? Because they wouldn't have gotten it. They wouldn't have gotten it. If you ever...
I don't know. Yeah, so he is talking about his opinions on the case here, or like what he wants people to think about the case here. And like that is interesting. This is a really interesting stream in general. Because like Rekieta's talking about like some things he really shouldn't be talking about. Like trying to imply the cops did something they didn't do, trying to imply that like they're lying, they lied in their official reports, that Alicia Sweep is like a problem somehow, right? Like he's trying to like suggest they're all making it up and that it's not real. It's not true. I did not neglect them. I did not. Like again, he's legit that.
If you want to know why a cop lies on a warrant affidavit, it's really simple. He doesn't think he'll get it otherwise. Let's see. Allegan News says Costco and Sam's Club life buying in bulk is not good idea for drugs. Well, go preach it on the mountaintops, brother. Go ahead. Okay. Let's see. Speaking of addictive substances, no, that's not what we want to do. I'm gonna do this. That's not a good intro to this. We're gonna, fuck it, we're doing it live. Here we go. Oh no. The Kids Guide. This is the Kids Guide. Oh my goodness. There's wait, what? Can I? Oh, we've got Buck Master says, "Are you sick or just coked up to see us?" I had delicious coke today, actually. Am I sick? I don't know. I've been coughing today, so could be sick. Allegan News says, maybe in your free time you could teach Joe new trick Rumble Studio. Maybe. It's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes, but when it works, it's awesome. I do want to talk to Joe, but it's probably today was Wednesday, right? If he's available, I don't know if I'm available tomorrow night or not. We don't care about scheduling. I got to figure out when I'm going to stream next. I got to talk to Joe on the phone the other day. It was really nice, but I wanted to spend a little bit more time chatting with him. I just haven't. I've been busy. I like maybe in your free time. It's kind of funny because I don't have a lot. The government really doesn't like. It's crazy. So, the government like accuses you of stuff, and then makes you do a bunch of shit. That makes it hard for you to do the parts of life that you need to do, and it's extremely disruptive. And it's really only through really strong familial support and
he spent that entire period of time bragging about how all that he didn't have his kids, but bragging about all the free time he had now that he didn't have to drive them around everywhere. What a retard. Like, he's really going to sit here and say, like, oh, I don't have free time because of the government. Like, come on.
And stuff that we've been able to kind of get through. Because the shit that you have to put up with in this, you just, like, look, I know I'm going to sound like really libertarian here with this very basic concept, but the idea of innocent until proven guilty is not something that you experience when you're charged with felony. Like you do not ever feel like you're treated as innocent until a proof of guilt. You don't feel that way. You feel like the government treats you as guilty. Period. There's nothing. from the very basic step of if you don't pay them, you stay in jail. That doesn't feel like you're not guilty or innocent until proven guilty. Like that doesn't feel that way. It feels kind of like they're calling you guilty from the start, and they are. They treat you like it very much. But them's the rubs. But they have you do a whole bunch of stuff as well, and it all costs time and money, and it's great. You really get to see from the inside, like why people never get out of the system. You know it. You get to read about it, study about this shit in your political science class, whatever that you go through, law classes. But when you're actually in this side of the system, like you realize how fucking oppressive it is. It's crazy. Vicky O'Dwyer says, "Poor Rekieta Law. What did he ever have? What did he ever do to have to go through all this?" You know what's funny about that comment, Vicky? Like I know that's a good joke, but what did I do?
What?
Like I'm not even in the realm of like government.
Look. People have been telling you what you've been doing wrong for a long time. You just refuse to listen. Unbelievable.
And proving shit on me. Like that's true, but what did I do? Is a really good question. But don't ask what I did. Like I'm one of the few people who are positioned to weather this shit. I have, like I said, I had good family support. Have some level of resources to deal with this shit. A lot of people don't. Ask what they did, because there's what you're gonna find is a lot of people go through a system that turns their life into much bigger disasters than they already were, and that system perpetuates a fucking element of criminality that gets worse. It gets worse and worse and worse, and it's I'm not talking about like the fucking weirdos out in California who are like, oh well, if they're stabbing people, they probably don't need to go to jail. Like we don't need bail. No, like the stabbing people can go to jail. Like put them in jail. But a whole bunch of people are charged with crimes that you go, well, like, do we really need to like ruin their lives? Like they may need to be convicted and all that stuff. I'm not opposed to that, but like, do we really need to do all this extra to them that will make it almost impossible for them to function in society doing it? Again, I'm not talking about people who are like shooting people or raping people. Those are bad people. They made bad choices. Those choices hurt people. That's bad. But you have a lot of people out there who are in a system of just that's just designed to grind you into the fucking dirt. But nice philosophical question. Thank you. What was your name? Vicky? Vicky.
Oh, thank you. I like it too.
Prove that it isn't whiskey in that soda cup. Drink it all right now. It's gone. Well, it's not gone. I guess it's just there's leftover. There's leftover Coke in here. I'm gonna have it through a straw. Anyway, well, guys, let's gonna talk some of the Supreme Court stuff, but I don't know that there's much more to do. I wanted to talk about the hearing and give that the little nuggets on those lines. I didn't watch other people's coverage. I don't know if they covered it at all, but those lies from the state, that shit matters. Mm-hmm. And when you're trying to fight it, there's not easy avenues to fight this stuff. People are like, oh, just present your whatever. It's not like you just walk up with a packet and be like, here. Like you have to bring it by motion. Then the government tries to like tell you how they did lie, but it didn't matter. Anything else, like it's a fight, and it all costs money and time. And people think that like you could just you just apologize, or you just go tell them why they're wrong. It's not how it works. But in the meanwhile, they create they can trample your rights. They can create these narratives about you and let them run.
What rights were trampled? They had a warrant. They searched the house. They found drugs. Like, what did they do wrong? Like, what rights did they trample? Right? Like, you can do all the pull all the nonsense you can. Like, the warrant should have been invalidated because of the. No, that's not what happened. They had a warrant. Again, I really hate these kind of people. Like, oh, show up with a warrant, because when they do show up with one, they just keep bitching anyway. Like, come on.
Not their fault. Like,
Fucking libertarians, man. They're scum.
Medic Mark 22 says, honest question. I can understand how a judge can order someone to not do illegal drugs, but how can they order someone to not drink if the case at hand isn't alcohol related? Because they can. It's just
because it was causing problems.
It's amazing. There's no other answer. It's the court. They can impose these restrictions, and we've just accepted them as acceptable. And really, do you want to be the guy like arguing, well, but like, can I still drink though? I should do exclusively that law. All right. Who gave me the black eye? Who's the abuser? That was me, dude. A felon hit my face on my bathroom counter. It was great.
Yeah, he claims it was the sink. Yeah.
So. All right, y'all. I think we're going to wrap up the show for the night. I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to bring out those little tidbits. I figured you probably weren't going to get those anywhere else. Everybody else's coverage, again, it's hard for me to watch because I know the story. And so I see them like fumbling around the facts. Not their fault. I'm for once not being an asshole about it. I'm just saying like they weren't there for all of these alleged events. Whereas I was, present for it. And so I see it in the very specific way. I obviously have my own biases, right? But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about literally living in the factual scenario that these other guys don't have any insight into. So I can't really watch their coverage. But I figured no one was going to pick up on the two misrepresentations by Miss Pierce that happened right there in the courtroom. I don't know if anybody else picked up on them. The judge didn't seem to say anything about it. Not that she would. Mr. Gallagher, if he did pick up on them, didn't say anything, which there's not necessarily a reason he should. That's a strategy question. I'm not him, so I have no idea what his mind is on that stuff. It doesn't really matter. But I wanted to point that out because I thought it was a neat little way to show this insular telephone, how fucking damaging it could be. Because I tell you, my life has been.
So wait. The telephone was a Kiwi Farms thing, though. So like, again, he invented the term to criticize Kiwi Farms. So is he like accusing Kiwi Farms of influencing his courtroom antics? Like, really? Like, does he think that like the judge is reading Kiwi Farms? It's like, oh, Nick did this. Like, no, of course she's not. She's listening to the case.
Severely impacted by the insular telephone game in so many ways. It's great. But with that, it still trudges on, and so do you, and so do I. But I'm going to go to bed. Hope you guys do too.
I can't believe I sat through all that. Holy shit.
We'll talk to you soon.
I have no life.
I don't know if I'll be streaming again before the weekend. Labor Day.
I'm going to bed myself, so I'll get up tomorrow and have a life before I stream MEO.
We have some great family activity. So I don't know that I'll be streaming. I won't be streaming over the weekend. I don't know if I'll be streaming before the weekend or not, but we'll keep following on locals, and you'll get an announcement there when we do have one going. Andrew Starr says, read my last two comments, Nick. Perfect example. The last two comments. How fucking far back are those? I don't know where they are. Wait. Oh. Andrew Starr. Okay, so something about your kids were taken because you had an infection in your heart and almost died. Had to call an ambulance. Police came along with the ambulance and found some paraphernalia and immediately said I OD'd. Lovely. I don't know where the next. There we go. Also, the night it happened, my children were staying with family and weren't even there. Yeah, well, the ability to craft a narrative about people that makes them look bad and isn't true and isn't illegal is not exclusive to the police. But man, when they do it,
Yeah, it's almost like YouTubers who don't practice law can comment on other people's cases in a way that doesn't like hold them culpable to their words or actions at all, right? What a fucking hypocrite. He talks about other people all the time. Why is it a problem when it happens to him?
So, anyway, enough of that depressing shit.
What
I
a
hope you all
fucking
have a
hypocrite.
wonderful
Like,
night. I'll probably do the Supreme Court stuff next time around. It's just more bickering between the justices and the shape of the Supreme Court going forward.
yeah,
And as
so this
we
is like
know-
this was supposed to be like a Supreme Court video. Supreme Court stuff. He did not talk about the Supreme Court at all. Unbelievable. He just wanted to talk about his girlfriend all night. He wanted to talk about the side hoe.
Anything where women in government is involved, the shape is increasingly round. So we'll see how that happens.
Fucking retard.
Uh,
But anyway,
I hope you guys have a good night. I do need to get my fucking.
he didn't even
sound
change the video
to
title.
Rumble Studio, but another day. All right, guys. Peace. Peace.
All right, that's it for the stream. Yeah. So yeah, final thoughts. Let's check the microphone. Yeah, like that was embarrassing, just downright ridiculous. 2 hours of him fumbling through a document, like, well, actually, the name is wrong because she's divorced now. Oh, actually, that's not her P.O. box. That's mine. So that means it was mailed to the wrong address because she doesn't live with me. Like, it's all just this, like, banal, idiotic, just nonsense that nobody with, like, more than 2 brain cells would fall for. Like, I don't even think, like, Forrest Gump would watch this and he'd just be like, that's not right. And he would like somehow like just destroy Rekieta's entire career and life without even trying. Right? Like again, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that Rekieta is not a very good lawyer and doesn't know what he's talking about and is in a whole heap of trouble that he isn't capable of dealing with. Right, that is the big major thing with this right now that needs to be brought up is that, like, yeah, he is in a bad position. Yeah, he is failing to win several of his lawsuits, right? Like, he has not had an epic W in years now, right? It's just been nonstop L after L, and it's entirely his fault. It's not some big, like, conspiracy. Like, you know, Null isn't, like, having sex with Joe Biden for favors, okay? Like, you know, the Minnesota state is not, like, working to undermine one of the greatest, like, legal YouTubers on the planet. Like, everything that is happening to him is the result of his own actions. And what's worse is that, like, he seems almost completely incapable of acknowledging that. It always has to be someone else's fault. Every single time. And that is the most embarrassing thing about this. This is why things are never going to improve, is that he can never, ever admit he is at fault for anything. I think that's everything I wanted to say tonight. If he comes back on over the weekend, we'll see if we can stream some more. Hopefully, we can start bringing back like regular shows again with the extra free time. I would love to make like the Harman Smith show like a daily thing, but until that happens, I will see you all.